We left the last episode with the question of who stays, who goes. Unfortunately, with the cap situation and the way that I've handled it, we have to make a decision because we just simply don't have the cap space. Now, admittedly, a good point's been raised where potentially could have gotten some better deals on these contracts if we just qualified players and then signed them once we get to the free agent period rather than the re-sign phase. That may have worked. That may have been the better way to go. I don't deny that. But regardless, we have this decision to make now where, unfortunately, we are going to have to either get rid of Brody Appleby or, and matter of fact, Hedstrom's actually still an RFA. What is he looking for on this contract? That's not much cheaper than what he was looking for before, is it? I don't think it is. But we'll still try to sign him to that because we'll have enough cap space to do it. But the decision was between Appleby or Jan Mysak. And I left it up to a vote. I left it up to you guys because, damn it, why not? And, yeah, Jan Mysak's gone. Overwhelmingly, Jan Mysak's gone. You guys siding with a top-notch playmaker over a top-notch sniper. It sucks to have to get rid of either one of them. But again, that has to be done. Unfortunately, the only other people we could look to move right now, it would probably be a defenseman. And if we were to get rid of Doughty, who has horrifically underperformed, that would leave the defense a bit shortchanged. I mean, despite how he hasn't developed, he's still a top 4 defenseman. And if we were to lose him, we'd be looking at our, bottom 3 defensemen being Cochran, Roberts, and Stewart, which isn't ideal yet, and that is until Stamkos would be ready to go, or Melnick, who we haven't even signed yet. So it's not ideal by any stretch, but we got to do what we got to do. And again, with this being a draft to glory, we are not allowed to actually trade Mysak for value, which, why I ever made that decision, I don't know, but that's the way it is. Where the hell is Mysak? His value is down right now, which is shocking. I mean, I guess because he is being paid a little bit much for an 82, but he doesn't exactly play like an 82. Calgary's interested, but they can't afford him. Dallas. There we go. It's a Western Conference team. They're listed as a rebuilder. Kind of the perfect team to make this happen with. So we will take Dallas's 7th round pick. We will send them Mysak and our own 7th round pick. And he is out of here. That gives us $10 million in space. More than enough to match the offer for one Mr. Appleby. Unfortunately, again, it sucks to lose a player of the caliber that we just lost, but we do what we have to do. So Appleby is going to sign for $6.3 million over the next 4 years. We will match that offer. He is going nowhere, and that gives us the chance. Wow, sorry, Kluchek hasn't signed it either. That gives us the chance to just into the beginning of the next season. We'll take care of those 2 RFAs if we can. It's a bit of a shame that over the past 2 to 3 years now, we haven't been able to get any compensation for Kluchek, but it's just the way it works. Unfortunately, that really hasn't been a factor, that being offer sheets. They haven't been a factor in this series unless you factor in what just happened with Appleby, but even then, we stopped that from going through. So goaltending-wise, it is Bednar and Astles who are going to be the 1-2 punch, more than likely. But we are going to re-sign Kluchek for the year. We might as well. And why not have 3 decent goaltending options if we have the chance to do so? So Rice-Miller, and Daig will be the goaltending tandem for the year. Unfortunately, with Kluchek, I mean, this is his last year of potentially being an RFA, or just being an RFA in general. So we're not going to get anything for him. It is probably his last season here. And again, Melnick, we're going to hold off on signing for now. We're going to hold off on signing anybody that we don't need to until next year, which is basically just DiPietro, Long, and Melnick. LeCavalier will never be signed. And forward-wise, it's still looking good. The top 6, I mean, if Jovanovski could step up a little bit more, that would have been cool. But the top 6 is still okay. The top 5 in particular is going to have to carry the weight for this team because the bottom 6, it's not ideal. Let's put it nicely by saying it's not ideal, but we'll see what they can do. And again, we do have some prospects. Samard, who we just picked up in the draft, is looking decent. Parks is definitely an outside option. I'm not expecting him to be anything good, though. So this is my concern right now, is that I don't know if this team is good enough to win. And this core is pretty much what it's going to be. Because if we're making the playoffs, we're getting weaker draft picks. This is pretty much the team that needs to win. Is this team good enough to win? I have some doubts. So we'll get a look at the defense here. Stamkos will be dropped. He's going back to junior, which is fine by me. He's still eligible, even though he had to be signed to an ELC. So the question now, wow, Finneganoff is higher rated than Doughty. That is shocking. 4th round, 97th. 1st round, 4th overall. That is insane. Cochran, Roberts, or Stewart, they will be rounding out this defense for now. So you see what I mean. If you take Doughty out of that mix, it looks that much worse. Doughty, from a defensive standpoint, can still get the job done for us. And then offensively, we have our top 10, 11, and 12. Oh, God. Hedstrom needs to get called up. And, yeah, we are really missing Jan Mizak here. We are. That's going to be tough to deal with. I don't know if it's going to be Kapusta or Joseph. Kapusta has a higher potential. You know, I think we're going to give the chance to Kapusta because we've played him in the AHL over the past few seasons, and he hasn't really gotten that much better. So we might as well just give him a shot at the NHL level and see what he can do. So we'll go best lines. I'll focus on the forwards in a minute. That's not good. That is very, very ungood. Jesus. There has to be a way to not have everybody... That's got to be because of our new coach. So our new coach might be fired before he even, plays a game for us, because he is not a fit with this defense the way it is. We can't have that. Wow. Okay, well, let's make that change. I don't know who our coach is, but that sucks. It's Fairchild, who I'm pretty sure had the best scheme fit. My God, he's such a good coach, too. 58% scheme fit, but he just does not match up with our defense at all. That is brutal. What coach is this supposed to be? I guess that's supposed to be Bruce Cassidy. I mean, he starts off in Boston. He went to New Jersey immediately. We have to get rid of him. That is brutal. Now, the good thing is we don't have to have a god-awful head coach, because we do have assistants that we can bump up. Although, there is still one good coach here, Riley. I don't know how well he's going to fit in with this team, but he is going to have to be signed. So this is looking a bit rough. He should be a little bit better of a mix as a head coach. I need to check our two assistants, or the associate and the assistant, in terms of how they match up. I can't see their scheme fits. That sucks. Right. Well, considering we have a 2-time Stanley Cup winner as an associate coach, because we just throw him all the money in the world, we do have a pretty experienced coaching staff. Like I said, though, Fairchild's got to go. He doesn't fit in with this team. So what we'll do, still have 87% staff chem. Am I not allowed? Oh, that's right. Okay, I do have to name a new head coach. Okay. Right. It should probably be the 2-time Cup winner and Mr. Chan, right? So we will promote him outright to NHL head coach. And we will not be signing Fairchild again. What we'll do is we'll go to Riley and see how he feels about being an assistant coach. Please don't tell me that this is going to take 6.5 years to scroll all the way up. That would be unfortunate. Again, I've mentioned it to them. I hope to God one of two things happens with the scrolling, to change salary. Either have it be like FIFA, where you can hit Y or triangle, and then change the individual numbers, or have it be like FIFA, where you can hit, at least an ultimate team, you can just hit right trigger to go from max offer, left trigger to go to low, lowest offer. Either or would be great, particularly for this if you're not playing with owner mode on, which I still don't. I do like the whole auto owner mode side of things, but at the end of the day, it is just, I don't want to say it's a worthless tack on, like it's there for people who want that much investment, but without extra money to spend things on. Like, you look back to MVP Baseball 2005, some of you might not even be old enough to remember that game, but you could change prices, and then you could upgrade your stadium. It wasn't just, and hell, you can still do that in Madden technically, although there's not much of a visual aspect to it, but you were at least able to spend money on upgrading your stadium and having there be, the visual side of things when you'd actually play a game. You could see, like, oh yeah, look at that, there are more seats now. Whereas in this, it's just, like, okay, I fixed the quality of the bathrooms. Cool. Obviously, there's no visual representation to that. There's no way to actually see that. So it does make owner mode feel kind of, let's go with not fun and not good. It's a good idea that they really do need to flesh out a little bit more to have it actually be interesting, engaging, and fun. But yeah, anyway, that was a nice little side rant and tangent while we waited for that. And there you go, Terrell Riley has signed. We have a ridiculous coaching staff in terms of quality, but how well do they fit in with this team? Defensively, that's better. That's a little bit better. Afinogenov, though, is going to have to be a third pairing guy. Roberts isn't a great fit, so there is a chance that Stewart is going to be the guy. And he is. So we're looking okay in that way. I think it is going to have to be set up like this, where it's Doughty, Stewart, Cochran, and Afinogenov. And then that top pairing should dominate. Like, that's a tremendous top pairing. And then forward-wise, it has Korobov on the second line. I don't know if I like that or not. Let's take a look here. 86 offensive awareness. Really good playmaker. Really good playmaker. Benson, 85 offensive awareness, has a pretty good shot. Really good offensive awareness as a playmaker for Nornan. And then Jovanovski is just kind of middle of the road. Like, he's definitely more of a two-way. So the issue here is that all three of these guys are playmakers, and none of them really fit in on that line. Kamel could definitely be a sniper. We need to break up this top line. Pretty much all of them are sniper quality. So if we bump down Kamel, now we know Nazarov is capable of scoring goals, but say we put Appleby, Grigorenko, Holtz, Kamel, Nazarov. Kamel and Nazarov should both be able to score plenty of goals. It's crazy that Nazarov hit 40 goals last year with that shooting category. But I think Korobov there, with that playmaking, is probably the best option. You could argue 92 offensive awareness Nornan would benefit extremely well from being on that higher line. But then I wouldn't want to drop Korobov, Benson, or Jovanovski down, more than likely. I think we wait to see what happens with Korobov, and we take it from there, but I really do need to break up that fourth line, even if it's not viewed as a line of extreme importance from the coach's standpoint. They are all playmakers, though, so we could actually make that change if we had to. So I think personnel-wise, this is what we're going to start off with. Pretty straightforward. Appleby as the main playmaker on that top line. Grigorenko definitely as a sniper. And Alex Holtz, you could make the argument for either or. Like, there's not one set option. He's been better as a playmaker, though. He can still score goals as a playmaker, too. So we'll leave him like that. Korobov, big opportunity for him this year. Definitely a playmaker. Nazarov will probably stay as a playmaker. And then still have Kamel as a sniper. Kamel had 36 goals last year, despite being a playmaker. The only thing I'm wondering is whether or not Nazarov should also be changed to a sniper, but he scored 40 goals as a playmaker last year, so I think we'll leave it as is. Third line, Benson is listed as a sniper. That's fair. Nornan as a playmaker, also fair. And Jovo, I mean, again, he really should be a two-way, but we might as well just leave him as is. Kavanagh as a playmaker, makes sense. Hedstrom as a playmaker, makes sense, I guess. We need a sniper on that line, and it's going to have to be Par Hedstrom. So it's the only change that we really have to make. Everyone else on defense is already an OFD. So as long as we change Hedstrom to be more of a sniper, we will be good to go in terms of the line chemistry. It's the only thing we have to change. But obviously, again, this forward core, you look at this now, and yeah, losing on Mizak really, really sucks. But there was no way to keep him. So, Mr. Hedstrom, you are now a sniper. Congratulations. And that should have this team be set up and good to go for this next season. Of course, we made the playoffs for the very first time in the last season before falling short to Buffalo. I'm going to be intrigued. I don't know if we're going to be back in the playoffs. I mean, there's a lot that this team has to show, especially with goaltending, to prove to me that, you know, we're the real deal. And hopefully Cyrus Hastels can take over a little bit and prove that he can challenge to be our #1 goaltender over the next few seasons. So it is Stewart that will be sent down to the minors. Again, the AHL, you would have seen by the amount of guys that we have in the minors right now. That is not what I meant to do. Whoops. I had a feeling. I'm like, wait a minute. Is it Stewart that I really want to send down? Turns out it wasn't. Had a feeling. I was remembering when Roberts was in instead. But you see, again, Stamkos is down in the minors. Like, we're really not going to have a full team. There isn't too much to worry about with the AHL when it comes to making sure that everyone's in the lineup. I mean, we can do that, but still not expecting much from them. We'll actually take a look, though. If we go best lines, goaltending-wise, it is Rice, Miller, and Daig. That's perfect. Defensively, I believe we're good. Richard's there. I mean, again, K. Steen, Kevin, Callie. Damn it. And let's see. Forward-wise, actually, was there a minus on defense? There wasn't. Forward-wise, I think we're good. Obviously, the AHL GM is just, you know, auto-signing a bunch of people. So, yeah, that roster is not good. It's not, but that's okay. I'm not expecting much from the players that we have in the system right now. So we are good to go for another year. As far as I know, the scouting is set up as we would prefer. It is, in a way. I need to sign 2 scouts really quickly. It won't take too long to fix here. Unfortunately, they're going to be weaker scouts, but that's what I get for forgetting about it. But we did have to prioritize Appleby and Mizak and trying to figure out all of that. So, at the very least, I don't think we'll be sending these guys anywhere where they're the only scout. Menu lag is yet again going to be the death of me. The death of me. I swear. There we go. There you go. You recognize the amount of buttons I pressed this time. Good. Good. There we go. All right, so let's fix the scouting and start simming this season. We're going through the entire season. We are going to find out if we are a playoff team or not. So we need a German scout and a Swiss scout. So Ekblad and Leon, we're just going to send over there. Why not? Have a fun European vacation. You get to go to Germany. Say hi to Chris Rumble for me. And you get to go to Switzerland. Enjoy the mountains, the beautiful scenic views. God, Switzerland sounds awesome. It really does. Who needs a beach in Cabo when you can go to Switzerland? I am admittedly watching the Liverpool game as I record this. They just tied it. Jordan Henderson. Oh, captain. My captain. Thank God. All right, let's do this. Let's sim. We got this. We're good. Let's sim to opening day, see how the overalls compare to who we are going up against, and we will take it from there. Time will tell whether or not this team is capable of making it back to the playoffs. It seems like last year, a lot of things went right for us to get there. And again, Nazarov scoring 40 goals, I think, is the primary example of that, where you look at his stats, he probably didn't have any right to score 40 goals, and we start off our season by playing the Buffalo Sabres. Gotta love it. Overall wise, 88 offense, 86 defense, 78 goaltending. So compared to Buffalo, we are still not in the same stratosphere, but it's a respectable team. Those ratings are good enough to win, certainly good enough to make the playoffs, but time will tell if that's the case. So let's do this. A new season begins. The pressure is on for the first time. You think about last year, I mean, yeah, the pressure was on a bit to make the playoffs, but it wouldn't have been surprising if we didn't, as we get a little bit of a measure of revenge on the Sabres. It would have been surprising to miss out, but there really wasn't pressure on this team to perform yet. Now there is. You made it to the playoffs. Yes, there is a relatively big departure from a potential goal-scoring perspective, but the team is still strong enough to make the postseason. It's just a matter of whether or not we will. So we'll sim through the first 2 months, and obviously right now we're still at 500 at the end of the opening month. That's not ideal. But once we get through November, we'll take a look at the lines, unless things take a downward turn, and we might have to look at changing up the lines a little bit sooner rather than later. A lot of pressure on Jan Bednar in particular as well. I feel like I should point that out. I mean, I gave him my vote of confidence by saying he should be good enough, especially when you look at, other teams that have been successful. I mean, even if you play franchise mode and you look at teams that are winning cups, a lot of times, probably not going to be extremely high-rated goaltenders. So, again, someone that's an 81 overall, he should be able to do fairly well, and hopefully that continues to be the case as we're going to lose this game. Or not. We're going to lose to Montreal, maybe? Possibly. What a goddamn winning streak. We go 1-2 through our opening 2 games of the month before winning 12 straight games. That is fairly impressive. From 4-4 to 17-6. That is outrageous. That is outrageous. What a month. What a run. Also known as a month. What a month for us, as we are just 1 point back of the Habs and the Sens, which just goes to show the competition level that we are probably going to face this season. Appleby on the top line, not exactly killing it. 15 points, 13 assists. The top line in general needs to step it up. From a defensive standpoint, yeah, they're on track. Holtz is doing fine, but everyone else needs to step it up a little bit. Korobov only has 11 points. Nazarov doing well. I mean, Nazarov and Kamel are carrying this team right now. 10 points for Benson, 14 for Norinen, only 6 for Jovanovski, who's starting to turn into a little bit of a bust from an offensive standpoint. That fourth line is horrific. Absolutely horrific. It is honestly impressive to see plus-minus stats that bad on a team that's this good. That's fairly impressive. Now, I could make this change. Again, Kavanaugh's someone I care about because of his potential. Kapusta as well. I mean, from a defensive standpoint, he's hot garbage, but we're going to do this. Jovo, you're going down, buddy. You are going down. It's not looking too good anymore, is it? So Hedstrom's going to get the bump up. And I got to be honest. Oh, how else do I want to go about this? I mean, 11 points for Korobov. Appleby's probably going to stay on that top line. I'm going to give Norinen a chance on a higher line. I know some people are just screaming right now, "You're winning! Stop making changes!" Fine. We'll put it back. But obviously there's some room for concern. Defensively, that top pairing's doing well. No real complaints. Stewart and Doughty doing all right. Third pairing could be a little bit better, but really no complaints. Astles could be doing a bit better. The good thing is Jan Bednar, 13 of those wins in 17 appearances. We'll leave the team, all right, in a move that I will probably regret because I think we're performing at a slightly higher level than we probably should be right now. We will leave the team as it is. Again, I think it's a horrible decision. Horrible. But we'll leave it as is. But then again, this point streak just keeps going. We're going to lose to Nashville because I mentioned the point streak. Or not. We're going to shut them out 3-0 before beating Minnesota. Jesus Christ. What has gotten into this team? We lose in overtime again, but this point streak has gone on for over a month. And it finally ends. There we go. You knew it would. It finally ends against the Chicago Blackhawks. That sounds about right. That sounds about right. So, hey, it's okay. I can't really complain when this team is at 26-8-2. I cannot complain with results like that. However, we are still in second because Montreal has an identical record. Now, we are 9 points clear of Buffalo, who are in third, and what we saw in the season opener with their overalls, we probably shouldn't be above them. But right now we are. I'm not going to change anything about the team. I will still hold off on that temptation, and we'll see what happens throughout January. This team will stay the same, and we will try to make the best of it. Right? Right. That's the only real way to view it. Unfortunately, the losses are starting to add up a little bit. We've lost 3 games in a row. Not exactly time to panic as we beat Florida 7-3 before losing 6-3. So this team seems to be settling down a little bit. We are, or at least we're still atop the Atlantic Division. Although I think Montreal just jumped us back. They did. They're a point ahead. The draft class, gotta be honest, don't really care enough to look. Because why bother? Why bother window shopping the top 5 that are probably all great when we know that we're not going to be able to sign them anyway, or draft them anyway, or sign them because there aren't free agent signings at any point. So, no real reason. 33-13-3. Is that enough threes for you? You like threes? February 1st, damn good record. I didn't see if we were top of the division. We're probably still neck and neck with Montreal, and indeed we are, but we are only 1 point clear. So both statements ring true. Ottawa, by the way, coming out of nowhere to be within 4 points of us. So the Sens having a good season. The Sabres are 11 points back, which again is a bit shocking. I can't, in good faith, make changes without knowing that some members of the comment section, I love you anyway though, that some of you will just rip me apart for making changes when this team is doing as well as they are. So we'll keep going. There really hasn't been much controversy or reason to overthink any of this. We're good to go. What reason is there to change anything? We're fine. We're good to go. We're just gonna keep simming. Because that's the only thing one can do. Sit here, sim, and hopefully watch this team win. Damn it. Although, hey, we're doing good. I mean, there's really no reason. That was an uncalled for damn it, let me tell you. Because we're doing well. We're doing well. Although, obviously this month we're not. But, hey, that's okay. No need to judge on recent results. We'll do that in the playoffs. Did I just jinx us out of the playoffs? Maybe. But as of March 1st, we have 40 wins, and we're in second place in the Atlantic Division. Tied with Ottawa, of all teams. So the Sens have come out of nowhere to take the top of the division. The Sabres also aren't that far back. The Atlantic is a murderer's row, which really doesn't help us. Holy Appleby. Okay. Well, he turned it around, didn't he? 58 assists now on the season, 66 points in 62 games. Good God. 37 goals, only 9 assists. That is one of the strangest stat lines I think I've ever seen. Brandon Peary is proud. Alex Holtz having a great season. And then Korobov on the second line, he could be a bit better. Nazarov has 30 goals again, working pretty damn well with Kamel. Although, again, you have Mizak there. It probably looks a little bit better. Obviously, Kapusta would be sent down. Norton would be on that fourth line. Benson's doing okay for a third liner. Norton's doing really well for a third liner. Defensively, there are some concerns. And Jovanovski, not great. And again, that fourth line, not exactly killing it. Defensively, Montgomery and Trafford, I'm assuming as well. Yeah, they're both having great years. Harry Stewart, not so great. Next to Doughty, Cochran, and Finganov have been fine. Again, it's an issue having to play Stewart there, but we have to, otherwise we get to deal with minuses on the line chem. Astles, looking all right. Bednar, kind of crashing back down to reality a little bit, but still not terrible. I don't know if it's just, I honestly don't remember what settings we're on. I feel like Bednar really doesn't have an excuse to not be better than he has been. But regardless, we're still in a good spot. Let's keep going. I mean, there hasn't been any room for, again, controversy or debating how this team should be set up. We're looking fine. It's just a matter of simming to the end and seeing, whether or not this team can maintain the pace that we've been on for the majority of this season. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think we are bound to crash and burn here, but we'll make the best of it. We'll see what happens. I mean, again, we are very much at that point where it's okay, playoffs. What are we going to do in the postseason? And it sucks that what is taking so long? That took forever. What the hell was that? It sucks that the regular season is having to be overlooked, but it is a good sign that the regular season's being overlooked because, that means we're good. That means we're good, and we're expected to be a playoff team. Now, again, we're losing a little bit more than I'd like, although we did just beat Dallas 9-2, so I guess I can only complain so much, and that's been the theme of the season. Ottawa has clinched a playoff spot, as have we, but the Sens are going to take this division title unless we really pick up the pace down the back stretch here. There's a 3-point difference. We have 6 games left this season. I totally wasn't going to say 7. We have 6 games left this year. We're on 46 wins. This is by far going to be our best season to date, but it might not be good enough for a division title. And as it stands, if the season were to end today, we would be playing Buffalo in the playoffs again, which scares the hell out of me. We get to take on the LA Kings, who are fighting for their playoff lives, and because of a weak division, they might make it. They've won 9 out of their last 10 games. We need a win here against a very hot Kings team, and we get it. So that sees us still in second place, 3 points back of the Sens, as we get to play a pretty good and relatively hot Calgary team. And we lose. Did Ottawa win? Yes, they did. The Ottawa Senators are going to take the division title unless we win our last 4 games, and they really slip up. We can finish with a max of 109 points. Can we beat Philadelphia? They're out of the playoffs. We can. We're 3 points back. Vegas, Boston, and Carolina. The road ahead. We have just about clinched the second seed. But again, if we can't take the division title, which will be the top, not only whoever wins this division, will win the division, but they'll also be the top team in the East. If we do win this division, we'll be taking on the Boston Bruins. If we finish in second, it's looking like Buffalo. Can we beat a struggling Vegas team? Yes, we can. What's Ottawa looking like? 3 points clear. We have to win our final 2 games, and the Sens have to lose their final 2 games, or we will be taking on the Buffalo Sabres in the first round again. Can we beat the Bruins? We'll find out in a second because it's on edit lines. Let's back out. Can we beat the Boston Bruins? Long shot to play them in the first round. We beat them in a shootout. Ottawa has yet to play. We'll find out here as we've hit 50 wins. The Senators have clinched the division and have clinched their spot atop the Eastern Conference. We are playing Buffalo in the first round. Again, a chance for redemption, perhaps, as Holtz finished with 99 points. A chance for redemption, perhaps, although I have to say, despite 51 wins, I'm scared. We saw at the beginning of the season what type of team Buffalo is, and it sucks because I don't want to take away from what this team just accomplished this year. We just won 51 games, despite some concerns in the bottom six, questionable goaltending, some questionable defensive players on this team. We just won 51 games in the regular season. A tremendous accomplishment for a team like this that was built like this. But how far is it possibly going to get us in the playoffs? So we'll take a look around the league. New Jersey, New York, and New York all made the playoffs. In the Central, Minnesota, St. Louis, Dallas, Colorado, and Detroit. And in the Pacific, San Jose, Calgary, and the Ducks ended up making it. The Kings just missed out. So we were the third best team in the league. That is crazy. Maybe I should have a little bit more confidence than I do heading into the playoffs. 3.3 goals for per game, which would have been top 10, but not way up there. Goals against, bottom 5 in the league, which is fairly impressive, but you see where Buffalo is. We have a slightly better offense. They have the slightly better defense. Our power play percentage was at 25.2%, fourth best in the league, and our penalty kill at 78.2%, which was bottom 10 in the league, but that's not surprising given the player types that we have on the squad. Alex Holtz led this team with 99 points, 33 goals. Appleby with 81 points. So yeah, we probably made a good call holding on to him, although I already know what people are going to ask, and yes, we will find... Actually, I don't remember if I traded him to Dallas or not. I feel like that's where I traded Jan Mizak. You know what? If I'm wrong, this is going to be embarrassing, but we'll check Dallas on the way back. Forward-wise, holy shit, can this game register buttons? Nazarov hit 37 goals, so I'm not complaining about him having 77 goals in the last 2 seasons. A very nice point total. Kamel was 65 points, 33 goals. That's solid. Grigorenko, though, only 59 points, but he had 47 goals. So I don't know what to make of that. That's a low point total, but he can bag goals for fun. Korobov, 46 points in the top 6. That's not bad. Noranen with 41. He had 14 points on the power play. Benson with 28 points. That's okay, I guess. Hedstrom had power play time. That's rough. Jovanovski just isn't what we needed him to be. There are extreme concerns when it comes to this team, but we do have a top pairing that can put up points. Afinogenov can put up points as well. Again, Jamie Doughty not developing into the player that we needed him to be does hurt this team a bit. And Jan Bednar with a 903. He had a very rough time against the Sabres last year. Perhaps there's controversy. Do we go with the 24-year-old rookie, or do we give Bednar an opportunity? It's a tough call, but despite how well we did in the regular season, there's obvious concerns. I think rightfully so, as Jan Mizak only put up 36 points in Dallas, which is unfortunate. I do wish he was still on this team. Around the league. Good God. Timo Meier and Austin Matthews work out pretty well together, don't they? Jesus. Kevin LeBanc was the third member of that line. God, in the Sharks series, clearly all I needed to do was get Austin Matthews, and Kevin LeBanc was going to turn into a complete monster. God damn. Jack Hughes still in New Jersey, as is Taylor Hall. Goal-scoring king this year was Matthews. Peter Reynolds also put up 60. That is pretty ridiculous. Defensively, Ryan Merkley led the way with 85 points. Not too bad. Trevor Day is up there as a generated player. And amongst the goaltenders, Prosvetov with 45 wins for the Sens. He is their goalie, and case in point, 80 overall. Save percentage, though, isn't that good, so I think we do look at giving Bednar the opportunity to start in the playoffs. 9 shutouts for Gibson and Ottinger each. The save percentage king, Luukkonen, at a 921. Ottinger was up there. Vasilevsky was up there. And amongst the rookies, Cesar Valiquette is going to win the Calder, unfortunately. No Calder winner for us this year. We had two players on the fourth line that could have possibly won it. So let's get the confirmation. Next episode, Mariners and Sabres. We meet again. We have home ice this time, for whatever the hell that's worth.